This is my video on the Pacsafe Toursafe EXP34. Now this is one of Pacsafe's largest cases. Now this is I think it is a 2017 to 2018 model case. They've slightly changed for 2019. They've slightly changed the outlook of this case. It doesn't have this feature anymore, I think, this flap anymore. I think it's just a plain zip that comes round. So this flap has gone. But I originally did a video, it's one of my first YouTube videos, basically called Packing for 3 weeks to Jamaica, whereby my wife was taking this case and it just basically showed how much you can fit into this case, because it is a very large case. So I'll go around with the features of this case in this video to show you what this case is like. Now, starting with the outside, first things first, the whole of this case, that's the sides, the top, the front of the case here, as I said, the sides again, right down to here, is all eXomesh. So basically, you can cut this, but they can't actually cut a proper slit into this case, because it has a kind of, what I'd say, like a chicken wire framework built into the case. So it is, it's slash proof basically, this case. So so the whole eXomesh system of this Pacsafe is all around the case. On the very front, we have molly loops here, right across the top. So we have molly loops here and molly loops here as well. Same again further down the case, and towards the bottom of the case, molly loops again. We have the Pacsafe buckling system here, system here on either side to lash down this case, or compression straps they call them. So we got them on either side and they're simple to open up. The next feature is the zip itself all the way around. So if I release that, the zip all the way around, and I'll bring it close to the camera. The zip all the way around is a punctured proof zip. Now, when I mean by punctured proof, certain airports, the baggage handlers can get to your suitcase, and there's loads of videos on YouTube showing this, how they would take a pen and simply push into the zip itself and just use the pen to open the zipper without using the actual zipper itself. They can open the zip with a pen. Now, because this zip is very unique from Pacsafe, it's like a 2-layered zip. So even though it's got one zipper on there, it's kind of like a double layer of zip in there, and you can't use a pen to puncture through it at all. So that's very unique about this case. Now, at the top of the case, we have Pacsafe's unique locking system here to lock the zippers. And you simply get the zippers like so, and the two zips sandwich themselves together with a little magnet. So there's a little magnet within inside the zip on the zippers here. I'll show you on that one, which you can see here. I'll bring it closer to the camera and try and get it in focus. There's a little magnet there, and the two zips sandwich themselves together like so, and then they go into this zipping system here, this lock system here, whereby they fit in like so, and then you push that cover over, hit that latch lever down, so that locks it into place, and then you put your own padlock on the side here. There's a hole at the side here, and you put your padlock in there, and then that cover simply clicks over and hides that. So that's another unique thing with this Pacsafe suitcase. It has a very unique locking system at the top, which is thief proof on there, and this is very secure. It is actually metal that's in here covered by plastic, so they can't even saw through that unless they have a hacksaw, obviously, but it is very difficult to get through that. So it's not just, it may feel like a plastic, but it's metal inside there. Now at the top of the case here we have a very thick handle. It's really thick, and in there is wires extended in here as well, and on the underside it's a nice felt on the underside, very thick handle. Now on the back of the bag we have this hard shell, on the back of the suitcase, sorry, we have this hard shell, and on each corner here we have thick plastic bumpers on each corner. So, and we have a thick plastic railing down the middle, and the words Pacsafe and the logo in the center. We have a kick plate at the bottom. Now I'll bring this up to the camera. We have a kick plate at the bottom which has the word Pacsafe written on there. We have these large wheels. These wheels are very large, and trust me, my missus said when she went to Jamaica, in the countryside of Jamaica, and anybody will know about the countryside roads in Jamaica, when she was pulling this bag, she had no problems with it because the wheels are so large. Now you can, if you damage the wheels, which are quite strong anyway, but if you damage them, there is a simple nut system, Allen key system, to take these wheels off, and you can purchase these wheels from Pacsafe to replace these wheels, so it's not just a one-off. We also have round the wheels here, we have a thick bumper again round each wheel, and at the bottom of the bag, if I turn it around, and at the bottom of the bag we have the actual stand which doubles up as a handle. So if you're taking this in and out of a car, it's simply that handle at the top, this handle at the bottom. You can simply take it in and out of the car like that when you get to the airport or out of your cab or whatever. So handle at the bottom doubles up as a stand. Also we have this thick reinforced bottom. This has the eXomesh in there as well, but it's thick and it's reinforced. And it comes over just over the bottom as well, and that still has the eXomesh in there and reinforced, and it still has a beading around here as well, so there'll be no fraying or anything like that off the bottom of this bag. On the side here, as I'm holding it, we have another handle here which is exactly the same kind of thickness and width as the top handle here. We have studs, which I forgot to mention, but we have these metal studs, so the handle is woven into the bag, sewn into the suitcase and studded. If I turn that there, and studded in on either side, and the same with the top. Same with the top of the bag, they are studded in. And we have a small, try and get that in. We have a small window here, which is an identification window with a zip opening and a zip enclosure for it. So as you can see, zip opening, zip enclosure. And the window is made of a very hard, I'll try and get it, I know it's going to show my phone number, but it has a very hard mesh window here, which is quite good. Now, as for the handle has several adjustments. That's the first adjustment. Because the bag is so tall, as you can see, to me, I'm about 5'6" with my shoes off, and it comes to my waist here, and off the floor, from the floor, bring it back, right, from the floor to the top of the bag here is 34 inches. Obviously, it's the Pacsafe EXP34, so it's the 34-inch one. Now, going back to the handle, it's one of the broadest handles I ever came across on a suitcase. It's quite broad. It's plastic with a metal bar through it. So it's plastic on the outside with a metal bar through that handle. And we have rubber. It'd be difficult for me to show it you, but there's a rubber mesh gripping under here, under this bar. We have the bars are metal, not plastic, with the words Pacsafe here and a logo, and Allen keyed in. So this handle is then placed into these bars and Allen keyed in. And we have the release mechanism. We have a release mechanism at the top here. Now, there's some positions to this handle. The first position is there. That's the top one. And there is a position somewhere around here. That's it there. So once again, I'll say this again. There's a position here for the first grip. Now, first grip of the handle. And then you have a second position, which is there. All around where the handle is a thick plastic shell here. It's very thick and reinforced here. So, with this handle, and trust me, when this suitcase is absolutely full, that feels really solid. It feels solid with nothing in it. But when you loaded this suitcase up, you know when you're pulling this, it's solid. Now, as I showed you and told you about before, we have these compression straps at the side of the bag, which simply clip in there like so, and they're fully adjustable as well. And they also have a loop to hold the access strap in there, so it's not something that's dangling around. So that makes it quite solid. And we have 4 of these compression straps, 2 on this side, 2 on the other. And one last thing I forgot to show you is on the side of the bag, and I'll try and get that in. I hope that's focused in. It's the Toursafe EXP34 is written on the side. Now, the first compartment at the top opens out like so, and it only zips a quarter of the way down. Now, this compartment is designed like that for a couple of reasons. The first reason is you can put your keys. It has 2 pockets here, a passport pocket, document pocket, and also a zippered pocket here, zippered mesh pocket, and I'll try and bring that close to the camera for you. We have a zippered mesh pocket at the top with a steel zip. And it says 2 compartment pockets. We have a place to put your key ring on and locking cable. So here it is written locking cable. There is a little clip here which you can put your keys on, and it's also for the locking cable. So you get a cable, a little bag like so, and in there is the locking cable. Now that locking cable is for that system up here which I showed you. Here it's for that system whereby if you're in an airport and you happen to be by yourself and you want to go to the toilet, so you want to secure this bag to a post. This cable is about 1.5 meters long, and you can secure it around a post. Put one loop in there, secure it around the post, put the other loop in there, close up this system again and put your padlock on there, and nobody can take your bag because it's a very thick cable that you get with it. And it comes in this handy little pouch which has the word Pacsafe written on there in rubber. I'll try and take that off to show you. It's a bit tricky with this. There. So we have this, and as you can see here, I hope I got it on camera properly, it says locking cable, and this has a YKK zip here, and that's the little pouch that you get, mesh on the front and nylon here, and the words Pacsafe there. And it's done in the same design, this kind of map design, as the rest of the bag. And that simply, as again says again, it simply clips onto this clip there. Now, on again about the main front part compartment, we have another zip here which is on the flap. YKK zip, metal zip, and this flap comes this zip pocket on the flap comes to about here. So that first molly strap here at the top, that's where this first pouch comes to, and it's the width, so it's no divider in the middle, it's just the width of the actual bag at the top, and that's a mesh as well. And the actual compartment, now I'm going to try and get it to the camera, but it's going to be a bit difficult. Now the actual compartment is all the way down to the bottom of the bag. I'll bring it back. So my hand is literally probably 1 inch off the floor. So the whole of this top part, front part of the bag, is that compartment there. So that's the first compartment. Now there is a zip. Oh, just hit the camera. Now there is a zip compartment at the top here, which spans across, and we have the main compartment. Now they've done this, which is absolute, according to my wife, she said this was an absolute godsend for her with this bag, because when she was at the airport traveling back from Jamaica, and you go through the x-ray machines and that, and she happened to have basically it was a carving, it was a Jamaica carving, but because how it was positioned in the bag, they really wanted to know what that item was. And luckily enough, my wife had packed it somewhere near, well, in the case somewhere near to the top. Now she didn't have to undo the bag, if you know what I mean, the whole of this top section of the bag, of the suitcase, she didn't have to do that. What she realized was she zipped this part here. Well, I did show her, not realize, but I did show her. And she zipped this and simply put her hand into the bag. So this zip is a quick way of entering into the bag without unzipping the whole entire front half of the bag, which I'll show you later. It's a quick access zip opening to the main part of the bag, which is absolutely brilliant. She loved that. Right, now I'm going to show you the main part of the bag. Now I've already zipped it down, and the zips come all the way down. So it comes all the way down to here and to here. You only got about, from the bottom of the bag, 2.5 inches. So just in case you're wondering how far that zip goes, I might as well tell you in reverse. From the ground, from the bottom of the bag here, it's only 2.5 inches. So it's the full, almost the full length of the bag. and that it comes down like so. No, drop that back. It comes down like so. Sorry about that there. What it is, when I always pack, when I go abroad, I always leave almost an A4 sheet of card in there with my name and my telephone number in case the bag gets lost, and they can open it up and see who that bag belongs to. I always do that. It's one of my security things that I do. But with this Pacsafe bag, it will be quite difficult for them to do that. So that's why I've got my luggage straps on there. I always have one big luggage strap and one tiny little luggage strap on there, both with the same information on there. But I'll come to that later. Now, this is the main compartment of the bag. Keep saying bag, the suitcase. And there's a lot of room in this bag. In this suitcase. We have compression straps within the suitcase here and here. So we have two of them. And we have a mesh zipped pocket down the side, and I'll try and bring this closer. We have a mesh zip pocket, which is almost the full length of the bag, all the way down the side, and it is quite deep. That's quite a deep pocket as well. So we have one on this side, and I will turn round, and we have one on this side as well. Now, this was very useful for my wife. My wife used these to put her shoes in, especially sandals, and I think she held altogether in the both sides 6 pairs of sandals, 3 lots of sandals in one, 3 lots of sandals in them, 6 pairs of sandals she fitted into this. When I mean sandals with a bit of a heel as well, so they all fitted into this. That's how much this can hold. And my wife takes, just in case, you might say what shoe size, depending on the shoe size, and my wife takes a size 7 shoes. So 6 of them fitted in the both of these compartments at the side. Now, another thing is the middle, the actual lining of the Pacsafe suitcase is zipped. So there's a zipper all the way down the middle, all the way, and that's a YKK zip, metal zip. So there's a zipper all the way down, because some people would like to put their shoes in a suitcase, but they want to put it under the lining. So this lining can be zipped, as I said, full length zip all the way. We have the same kind of design as well, which is this kind of map pattern design that's inside the bag. And just showing you the top here, try and get it into, okay, it's pretty difficult, but I'll lift it up. This is it, the same mesh again. We have a mesh here, and that was that pocket that we have a mesh lining pocket now. Now, this is the lid of the bag, of the suitcase. Keep saying bag and it's a suitcase, right? That's a mesh, and that extends all the way down. I'll turn them around. All the way down the bottom. So that's almost the full length of the suitcase, this mesh compartment here. And another easy access to get to the lid of the bag. So that enters the lid of the bag. That's what I showed you previously before. That's the access hole zipper here to get into the main part of the body of the suitcase there. Now, I know since I started this video about this bag, there's one question that's in your mind that I haven't answered yet, and I'm going to answer it now. is the weight of the bag. Suitcase. I keep saying bag. It's a suitcase. It's the weight of the suitcase. Now, this suitcase weighs just under 5 kilos. Now, another thing is, which I'll probably be asked for as well, and you've seen for yourself, these bags do not have a kind of frame to them, as in i.e. they're not stiff. It's not a stiff bag. The only part that is stiff about this bag is the back. This is more like a duffel bag. So this suitcase, I keep saying bag, suitcase, is more flexible. Now, just my little thing I said I was going to get back to. Now, when I'll kneel down. When I am traveling abroad, and it doesn't matter if I carry this particular suitcase or a smaller suitcase or even my hand luggage, I always put a luggage tab on there, and I just have my name, my first name, my surname, and my telephone number of my mobile. Now, when I put my mobile number on there, I don't start it with, if you're in England, I don't start it with an O. I always start it with the +44, because if you're in a foreign country and they find your bag, and they say you lost your bag, you reach your destination, and you're waiting for your bag, and they've mislaid your bag, and they say they'll contact you. If you leave the 0 in front of your mobile number, it's hard for them to phone it. So I always leave the international, I think it's the international number, which is the +44, and I always have one big luggage suitcase tab and one small one. Now, sometimes I will put the big one, obviously the big one, visible on the top or wherever on your bag so it's visible. The little one, I sometimes will, like on this bag, I put it here. On my other bags, they go on the side or whatever. So I always, just in case that one gets pulled off, the chances of that might get pulled off because it's a bigger luggage tab. But the small one, because it's small, is less likely to be pulled off. So that's why I always put 2 on there. And I even put small one. I don't put a big one on my hand luggage, but I put a small one on there because you'll never know. So that's what I always do. And my luggage tabs, simple. They're just, the small ones are just basically key tabs. I just take the piece of paper out, write my name and telephone number on there with the +44, and I have it on the small tab. And these are just standard plastic luggage tabs that I have, and sometimes I use, and I might get a question, how do I fasten them? And I just use cable ties, small cable ties for the little one, and just large cable ties for the big one. I don't really use the cable that you can get, which you screw together, because I used to have one of them and I found that they loosen up. I don't know how they loosen up, if people loosen them up, or they're just because the bag's getting thrown around and that, the suitcase getting thrown around, they loosen up. So I prefer to use cable ties. Now, I know this is a long video on the Pacsafe Toursafe EXP34. Obviously the official Pacsafe site will show you a quick video of it and just basically, but I like to go in depth because I know I'll get questions asked about the bag, so I tend to go more in depth about it. But my thoughts on this bag, as I said in my previous video about another Pacsafe bag, I prefer to save my money and buy Pacsafe because it's peace of mind, and I know especially the zip part. And as I said, there's loads of videos on YouTube showing how people can get into a zipped suitcase quite very easily. The only suitcases which are difficult to get in, which I know of, are the Pelican suitcases, and these Pacsafe suitcases are very difficult to puncture the zip to get into this suitcase, and I prefer to save the money and buy a decent suitcase. And as I said, I've had this now from 2017. I've had this case, and I know it's 2019, but they'll probably bury me in this case, because that's how long I'll keep this case for. And it still looks just as good. It's got a couple of marks on there, but it still looks just as good as the day that I actually purchased this case. So you're going on a foreign trip, spend some money on your suitcase. Don't spend some money on your suitcase. Don't buy a suitcase just because it happens to look good. Just buy a suitcase that you know people can't break into that suitcase. Anyway, that's my little 2 pence worth about this case and my thoughts. Anyway, if you like this video, and I know it's long, please give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. I understand that. Please subscribe to my channel, even though mostly I do selfie sticks and GoPro and poles. Thanks for watching.